The biggest crate to date. This contains the Skymaster F-15 XXL aircraft. These have been showing up in North America, and we finally got the first one here in Canada, second one here in Canada, and it's here at the shop. Let's pull this gigantic plane out of this gigantic crate. And I thought it was the first one, but Doug from Jets North Jets got his a while ago. So crate is huge. Just picked it up from the shipping depot today. Arrived in bang on perfect condition. Got a flatbed trailer to pick it up. And it's very, very well packaged. The crate was supposed to weigh about 400 something pounds with everything in there. And you can see they used 1/2-inch ply everywhere, reinforced everywhere. Very well packaged. So, first view of what this thing looks like when we open it up. And there we go. Wow. Crazy. Maybe let's lean that against the wall. And as much as it seems kind of silly, I love getting all the packaging and the foam pieces. It's always some of the highlights. Wow. So there's the nose section, wings. Oh my gosh. Huge. Now we saw one of these at Jet Power in Germany when we were there, but when you see it in person in pieces, it makes such a difference. Oh my gosh, that's huge. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to pull these pieces out individually. We'll start unwrapping them, but we're just going to get everything out of the crate. Yeah, and just kind of get things sorted out and organized on the ground, and then we'll open up pieces individually. All right, so we're just going to pull these pieces out one at a time. That is elevator, horizontal stab, number 1, number 2. Kind of one of the cool things about this plane too is because the molds are so new, the detail should be very substantial on the aircraft. Wow. Those are huge. Vertical stabs. Beautiful. Oh, nice. Very nice. So that gives away the scheme right away. All right, tail cone. Some nice detail on the tail cone. Of course, we'll be opening all these guys up, but look at the size of that thing. And we've got our teeny weeny little nose cone. Looks like it's the same setup as the SU, where the nose cone clips on and off with a push button underneath, which is great. That's a really well thought out system. Works great on the SU. And we've got wing number 2. All right, we got more foam. More foam. Wing tubes. No idea what that is, but it is a thing. I don't know what that is. Saddle tanks. I don't know how this plane's set up, but I'm assuming there's probably going to be 2 saddles and then a main, I think, if I had to guess. And then we've got the nose. Substantial. Oh my gosh. Holy. So this thing takes up every bit of that crate. Oh my gosh. Huge. Absolutely huge. Crazy. So intakes come right to the front of the crate, and our tail goes right to the back of the crate. So the little pointy things, I don't know what they're called, coming off the tail are right at the back of the crate. So this plane, this main part of the fuselage, it takes up the entire crate. I wasn't expecting that. That is nuts. All right, so I think, number one, this is not a plane you want to uncrate by yourself unless you want to start cutting the ends of the crate off. So if you're buying one of these, have a helper to help you. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull the main fuselage out, lay it on some foam, close the lid, and then put the fuselage and the other stuff on top of the crate. That weighs like nothing.
Right?
For the size of aircraft, oh my gosh. So I think when Skymaster was developing this, they're trying to fit into the US regulations, and the US regulations, if you go back to last year, were 100 pounds max limit for LTMA2, and now that limit's been bumped up to the 125 pound mark. So, I mean, this thing's incredibly light for what it is. So it should, I'm assuming it's going to come out kind of like the F-14, where it probably finishes at about 100 pounds-ish, but that is incredible. All right, so we've got the fuselage up on the table. The crate is sitting back outside. Definitely not reusable. It's just too big. It's huge. Very plane specific. So we're going to open up these pieces individually, take a look at them. We'll open up the fuselage last, and then we'll get this thing put together and see the whole thing together. So, vertical stab number one. All right, so far I see that we have light kit installed, which is great. UPS is here. All right, so I think a lot of this is going to be very much like the F-15 XXL, I would guess. So huge vertical stab, light installed, like I said. So on this one, there's a single rear light. And looking at this now, it looks like there's a reflector on there as well too, which is kind of neat. So it'll be very, very bright. All right, so nice big surface. Pin is removable here, which is cool. Of course, we'll get into all the details as we get into this aircraft and the project. No play in the pivot. There's the pin right there, actually, I think. Yeah. Cool. We've got so carbon tube here on the rear portion of the vertical stab, and then a solid carbon tube on the front. So nice and simple. Oh, this is probably for the actuation. There's no servo in this surface, so that arm is going to come down and the servo is going to be inside the fuselage. That's what it's for. All right, so that's vertical stab number one. We'll do vertical stab number two. Should be an exact match, of course. Awesome. So there's the other side. I don't know what scheme this is. I don't know what country this is. So if you know, comment down below. I'm sure if I did a little bit of research, I could figure it out. And then we've got another light right there. Beautiful. Awesome. Huge, huge vertical stabs. All right, horizontal stabs, nice big surfaces. This is going to be pretty typical for the Skymaster setup. You know, all of the other planes with the tail like this, pretty much the same, the F-14, the F-18, etc., etc. So let's pop these guys open. Looks like everything is identical to their normal setup. And I can't remember what video it was in, but you guys were extremely concerned about knife safety. So I actually took a knife safety course last year, and I'm trying to do much better with my cutting pattern, trying to cut away from myself all the time. So thank you for suggesting knife safety. It is very important. All right, horizontal stab, nice details on there. And I really like the finish on this this aircraft as well too. It's kind of a matte. It's not a flat finish, it's a matte finish, which is way more scale than the norm. Got a little bit of water there, interesting. Yeah, very nice. So typical setup here, we've got our aluminum rod, our receiver for our pivot point, and looks good. For reference, there it is. All right guys, horizontal stab number two. All right, so should be basically an exact match. I was just saying to Chad here, the weathering they did on this plane, very nicely done. Very nice. One of the key things that you see not done by some manufacturers is doing it in the direction of the airflow, which on this plane it is. Very light stains done there. Hopefully they'll show up in the camera. But yeah, they did a great job. Looks very nice. All right, so a couple more small parts here. We're going to pop open our nose, and then we'll do our tail cones, starting from the outsides and working our way in. All right, so nose cone. Very nice. When I say nice, I'm talking about the weathering details. It usually shows up a bit more dramatic on camera, but they did a great job. And yes, same scenario as the SU, so I'm assuming based on the way the SU was, this is probably the bottom, that's probably the top. Other way. Chad's giving me directions. That's the top, that's the bottom. Anyways, looks good. So this will plug in, you'll see it, we'll obviously go through it, but plugs in, and there's going to be a little keeper on the bottom, and it's a whole system that slides up. This slides in, and it's got G10 material that clips on to each of these rods. So great system, and very well done by Skymaster. Looks good. All right, tail cones. This is one of the showpieces of a jet like the F-15. And there's just so much detail on these tail cones. It's really nice when they do a good job on these things. Oh yeah, very cool. There's a shot inside. And then all the detail. Very nicely done. Very nice. It's also nice, just looking at this, that they didn't make this in multiple pieces, so like an inner cone, an outer, which is just going to add more weight. This is all in the mold, I think, because our fiberglass follows that profile. So yeah, very nicely done. Did a good job. Looks awesome. All right, tail cone number 2, of course, an exact match. All right, next thing is wings, and just for reference, there they are. All right, so wings, wings, wings. Oh my gosh. Wings. Wing. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. I'm not going to get into it now, but I can see the aileron system here. Very interesting looking. It looks almost like it's a twist, like there's a U-joint in there. We didn't get to see that at jet power, and the hatch opening here is small, so your servo's not going in the hatch opening. The servo is going to go in probably this guy right here, and that's your access to your mechanics. So we can see right there some of the mechanics. Ooh, nice. And my Vanna White here, Chad, just pointed out, looks like quick release wings. That's cool.
Yes.
That's really cool.
So much time saved.
So this is probably going to be the exact same scenario as like the nose cone, the tail surfaces. That just makes sense. That is awesome. Very cool. Oh yeah, and then our flap surface. So that makes sense. So aileron servo is going to mount in here. Access to the linkage and everything is there. And then our flap is mounted in the fuselage, which is also nice. So in this wing, we're going to have one servo, the one light lead, 2 light leads, and that's it. So super simple to get that on and off. So we've got a light in the wingtip. There's also a light right there. All right, wing number 2. This is the left wing. All right, so it should be an exact match to the other one. Very nice. So looking at this, we've got, I'm just looking at the construction details here. I'll show you guys. I don't know if that's going to show up on camera, but there's a bunch of carbon in the layup. All the former work that I can see in there is all carbon laminated ply. So there's a shot inside the wing. So we've got, oh no, it's all carbon laminated foam, just like the F-14. Very nice. Wow. Super cool. Carbon receiver tubes. There's a shot in the front section. Yeah, very nice details, very light wing. I'm a huge fan of that quick release thing. Well, obviously we'll see how it works, but that's quite impressive so far. Very nice wing. We'll flip that over. Beautiful. A couple cool details here too. There's a couple little raised sections there, which of course will be scale. This is raised up a little bit. Very nice, very nice. All right, next thing, nose section. So we're going to undo the nose section, then we'll undo the fuselage. We're going to get the nose section bolted to the fuselage just so we can get that classic picture standing beside this fuselage with the thing raised up. And it'll show you some perspective on the size, because Chad and I are both like normal North American sized human beings. You know, when you see the pictures from the factory with the short little people holding this up, it really doesn't put it into perspective, but I'm 6'1", you're probably the same. 6'2". 6'2", so it'll give you some real perspective on the size of this thing. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, when I see that, it reminds me a lot of the F-14, just in size, the XXL that we put together. Just in size, yeah, it's just huge. So before we pull anything out, I'll just do a walk around here with you guys so you can see how it comes. So all the foam back there is just protecting everything, holding it in place. Canopy glass pre-installed. Looks like cockpit stuff is in there. I don't really know how that's laid out. I'm sure we'll probably have a lot of stuff inside the fuselage as well. But that scheme is spectacular. Yeah, you can see all the stuff jammed in the nose. Very nice. Very nice detail. Awesome. Okay, so we'll pull some of this stuff out of the nose just to get everything freed up. Okay, so that was protecting the nose gear is what it was doing. All right, so we've got, this is going to be the rear part of the fuselage for the operational canopy. We've got some stuff in there. The nose gear is gigantic. We've got cockpit tubs in there. Yeah, that's all cockpit stuff. So we'll pull this canopy off. It should probably just come off. And then we can, nice, pull all the cockpit stuff out. All right, so nice cockpits as well. So on the bigger Skymaster XXLs, these have been plywood, G10 material, and they're just a lot more durable and more simple to handle and deal with. Stronger. On some of the smaller planes, they usually come with very light cockpit tubs, which are generally no good. And there's probably the rear cockpit or front, I'm not sure. All right, I'll bring you guys in and show you what the inside of the cockpit area looks like. All right, so there's a shot inside the nose section. So our landing gear, we've got lights installed, airlines all installed. Everything looks very normal for Skymaster. Looks like we've got our cylinder actuator mount down there. We've got our locking cylinders here. All very typical stuff. Very nice. And one of the nicest things about Skymaster planes is the struts are air oil. So they are adjustable. They operate much like the full-scale ones. They're slow-moving. They're not just a spring, which is really nice. So that's a cool setup. I like that. All right, and it is fuselage time. So we've got everything else that's important, the big stuff, unpackaged. Let's pull apart this fuselage. I'm excited. Lots of cool things to see in here. Oh, it feels like Christmas, and it's only January. Oh my gosh, the details. The vent things are cool. I haven't even seen them yet. I'm just looking through the bubble wrap. I'm excited to show you guys this. Ah, dang. Dang, that is so nice. 4th Fighter Group. Wow. I love the hints of red on there. That looks so cool. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow. All right, so we'll take a walk around this fuselage. She is a girthy girl. Very, very big. Very impressive. We'll take a look at some of these details. So we popped open the air brake there. You can see all the air brake details done very, very nice. This plate's pre-installed, and just pulled one of the pins out here. Now this pin is what stops or holds your engine hatches closed. We've got a pin on that other side as well too. Nice to have the engine hatches back there because that means they're going to be very short pipes that go towards the back of the aircraft, which is awesome. Other important thing too here is this section back here. If you look at, we've got our main hinge point for our horizontal stab, vertical stabs here, and a lot of stuff is going on outside or behind the main fuselage. Skymaster does this very well. A lot of manufacturers struggle with this aspect, but you need a lot of additional structure in this area to deal with all the forces back here. And I can tell already this is not our normal layup in this whole back section. It's very stiff. So the skin is probably a large part of the structure back there. Very nicely done. So we pull the pin out. We'll open the engine hatch in a second. We've got CG location right there, which is great. This is the quick release for the wing. So that's going to slide in there. The little pin you push in and it captures the pin that comes off the wing. This is our port for our actuator for our flap to come out of. And that looks like maybe a stop for the flap because the flap should be back here. So, and then the engine hatch. Oh, cool. So hinged like that, which is awesome. That's nice to see. So yeah, engines are going to sit, I would assume, right in this area right here. That's probably pipe mounts right there. So pipes are going to be about 2 feet long, which is great. Nice short pipes. Here's a shot inside there. Awesome. Very, very nice. Okay, so we're just going to try and prop this, this fuselage up and take a look at the underside, kind of how the gear opening works. So one of the nice things about this fuselage compared to something like the SU-30, the SU-30 you need to transport it on its gear. This one, because we've got structure built into the fuselage, it should be a complete non-issue. Yeah, like right here is strong, so there's structure points all the way. So it should be a complete non-issue to transport this on its belly, which is great. Much less stressful belly transporting it than on its landing gear. Nez is here to help too. You go check out the inside, buddy. All right, so if we can, we're going to pop this gear down. Now this is a first, so I'm just being cautious with it. Okay, so we've got a zip tie holding it there, so I'm going to undo the zip tie, and it looks like the gear is going to pop down. It looks like there's a small cylinder lock on there. Wow, they even put keepers on there instead of zip ties. Good job, Skymaster. Well done. Impressive. Gone are the zip ties holding the brake line on. Okay, so we don't want to scratch up the shaft, so we're just going to be careful. So when we do that, the gear should, there we go. So obviously, as we can see here, rotating landing gear. So that is wicked as well. So rotates into the fuselage, which is beautiful. And then we should have a lock in place. Yes. So we've got a small, I don't know if there's an actual lock. No, no lock in place. It does lock, but that lock is all built into, wow, that lock's all built into the main cylinder movement. Well done. So if you have any experience with Skymaster jets, you'll know that often they'll put a separate lock on the landing gear. So this gear is locked, and that lock right here is built into the main cylinder movement. So this shaft right here, when the main cylinder retracts, pulls the lock away. I don't know if that's like full scale, and then it can move. That is very smart. Very smart. Awesome. Nez, how's it looking there, buddy? Nez, does it look good? Nez is doing an interior inspection right now. That's awesome. Thank you, Nez, for doing that. She's checking out all the former work. Both gear down on the plane. Stunning. One of the cool things when you start eliminating hatches on the planes, these big ones, is you start minimizing the amount of hardware you need. So, you know, you've got servo arms here, we've got our rear receivers, some servo mounts, some linkages and stuff, and that's it. So super simple. I'm just getting our hardware to put the nose on. There's all of our hatch screws and such, but very, very straightforward. So we've got the plane sitting on the table, and we're going to bolt the nose up so we can get this girl on her legs, maybe get some wings attached, and see what it looks like put together. Wow. 6-foot table. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. What a cool plane. A couple important things here that I'll point out to you. The main gear works so nicely, and the nose gear too has a ton of travel on it. And of course the Skymaster, because it's air oil, they just work so well. Very nice to see. Very nicely designed. Love it. Gorgeous plane. Holy crap, that nose is big. I don't know, man. Tip it up. Holy Dinah. Holy crap. Okay, you got it? Yep. We almost don't have enough ceiling height. We're not going to go too much more crazy, but I'm going to go stand beside this thing. I'm trying to get the camera back far enough. Chad's holding it right now. Oh my gosh. So there we go. Hold that thought. Hey, Katie. Yeah. Can you spare 1 minute? Just to snap a quick picture.
Holy crap.
You'll have to stand pretty far back. Yeah, exactly. So just for reference again, I'm 6'1". Chad, if you're on the video, he's 6'2", standing up nice and straight. And it's actually, oh my gosh, it's almost touching the F-15 thing. Look at that.
I know.
Holy crap. Our ceiling is like 13 or 14 feet tall, and It would be touching the ceiling if we were by you guys. Oh my gosh, that thing is mental. The thing it was hitting is where we've got the F-18 that's for sale. That's our pulley system. That pulley system is actually like a couple inches higher right now than the ceiling is over there. And we were basically touching the underside of that pulley system. So she's big. We're gonna make some room here, move the table out of the way and get the wings and the surfaces just roughly installed so we can see this thing put together. Basically, it needs an entire bay in my shop. All right, we'll measure this thing because it feels like it is ginormous. So Chad's got the back. We're just going to the tip on the right-hand side. And then to the tip of the nose cone, we are 12 feet, 6.5 inches. Wow, 12 feet, 7 inches in length. And yes, it does support one tiny black NESCAT, no problem. We've got, I think our pipes are sitting in there. There's really not much left in the front. I believe it's only our pipes sitting in the rear section, but my goodness, what a gorgeous aircraft. Can't say it enough, guys. This thing is absolutely stunning. Yeah, Skymaster absolutely knocked it out of the park on the scheme. So impressive. Now, as we go through the assembly of this project, we'll be getting into all the details, but I've noticed a bunch of cool little things on the aircraft already. Kind of touched on them in this video, but we'll touch on them as we go through the assembly process because it's very impressive to see constant changes and improvements happening. They're little things, but on an aircraft like this, they are pretty big things. So really looking forward to putting this one together. This one's going to be maidened at Montana Jets in June of 2025. So absolutely awesome. All right, guys, we also had a fun box show up today. So this is a bunch of UATs and they come from jetuat.net. Now these UATs, I think I've seen them on the Boomerang website as well, but you can go to jetuat.net. Now they sent us a box of these UATs and we're gonna be giving these out on future videos and so on and so forth. So really cool to see these show up in the shop. I appreciate them for sending these to us and allowing us to give these away to viewers, use them in the shop, review them, take a look at them. So let's open one of these up and take a look at them. Now I have seen these floating around social media like Facebook a fair bit, and it's nice to actually see these in person now and be able to take a look at them. So let's take a closer look at one of these. All right, so we'll open this one up. This is the 180 mil version, and yeah, there we go. So let's take a look at one of these and see what it looks like. Now they reached out to me and asked me to show these on the videos and give them away to viewers, etc., etc. So that's why we have these show up. And there we go. Very cool. So we have seen these before. I think last year I got 1 or 2 samples of these guys arrive. And I did end up using one in my Boomerang Lancer aircraft. That was the little Lancer that I had. And it worked very well. There's no issues with it. So there we go. That's what they look like. Nice units. And they've got a couple videos and stuff that I've seen on their website. And as far as fitting size goes, looks like they're a 6mm fitting size on all of them. Very cool. So thank you for sending those guys. We've also got some high flow fittings as well too. So these high flow fittings, 8mm Festo, on all of them. We've got a smaller fitting, so a couple different fitting sizes as well. That's nice to see. because you don't always use a 6mm line, right? So that looks like an 8mm nipple, 8mm compression fitting, same thing there. So nice variation of different fitting sizes as well too. Thank you, that's wonderful. There we go. So anybody that's willing to provide some product for us to review, we're happy to review it and give our honest opinion on it. And also, I appreciate them providing product for us to give to you guys, the viewer, as well too. So we will be giving these away in future videos, so keep an eye out for that, possibly during the build of the F-15, and keep an eye out for different videos coming up as well too. So stay tuned for that. What can I say? She's big, she's girthy, she's beautiful, she's awesome. Such a cool aircraft. Thank you, Skymaster, for putting together a wonderful aircraft. Thank you to Doug at Jets North Jets for organizing this for us and the owner, and the scheme, which is a difficult one. Thank you for knocking it out of the park. Very unique F-15 scheme, not something you see very often, and there's not a lot of F-15 schemes in general, so it's nice to see something different. Guys, this will be coming up. We've got some projects to knock out of the park first. The F-100 from BVM, the old F-100 being one of the primary ones, but this F-15 will be coming up very soon on the channel. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Give the video a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I don't know why you're not, but it's free to do so. So hit that subscribe button down below. And when you do hit that subscribe button, there's a little notification section that pops up. If you want to be notified of future videos, make sure the bell is turned on. So do that right now. Hit the subscribe button. If you're a subscriber or just subscribing now, turn the bell on for notifications to make sure you don't miss anything. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching our content. Don't forget to check out the Lighter Side of RC After Dark. The After Dark is our live channel. It's a completely separate channel. We do live streams here from the shop every 2 weeks on Saturday, and it's tons of fun because if you're on during the live, you get to interact with us, ask us questions. There's usually some shenanigans going on, and we usually have some visitors for the lives as well too. So thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.